Hey guys, Henry here, coming back at you with a little update for POE 2. It seems like they've released a statement regarding, the current state of the game and kind of like what they've been planning on changing or working on regarding balancing. As we all know, a lot of the stuff like skills and minions were totally gutted, either no damage or no life on the minions, no damage. So like everything takes several hits to kill just basic white mobs. This overall speed of the game has gone down. Getting through the campaign, it's a bit of a slog. So I kind of wanted to read this little statement here, which is mentioning what they're changing and hopefully which will lead to the game being more improved over time. So let's take a look real quick. What we're working on. So one of the major concerns that we have seen for the Huntress is that there's a lot of the power of the class locked behind the parry mechanic, which is true, especially early in the game. All you can really do is parry stuff in order to get your frenzy charges off of like disengage and stuff like that, or like maybe like frost fangs. And some other players do not wish to parry. Yeah, some people just don't want to parry. They don't want to get in melee range and they don't want to parry, which is totally understandable. I totally get it. Getting frenzy charges without the parry is an option available to the class later on, which is true. There are stuff like riposte or there's like certain uniques that you can get or certain skills that just will generate frenzy charges in a different way. Like through freezing with combat frenzy, for example. If you freeze an enemy, it just generates a frenzy charge, so you don't have to parry that way. But in the early game, you don't have access to any of that stuff. So they want to give you more options. So in order to address this, we're adding the new skill on the second row of the spear skills called Call the Weak. This is a skill effectively the same as Killing Palm on the monk. So with Killing Palm, what that is basically you have a monk, and if the enemy's health is low enough, there's like a blue light that's on them, and if you strike them with the palm technique while they're blue, it gives you a frenzy charge, or a power charge. And actually, sorry, yeah, I think it's a power charge for monks. If a monster is within calling range, he's called the weak, and it will charge forwards towards the monster, killing it instantly, and will give you a frenzy charge. This should be patched over the next few days. Good. That's a nice little option that we can have. That's always good. Small little W right there. We also want to improve the feeling of parry more generally. Two issues we've identified that are in some cases, it would feel like you should parry monsters, but don't. Yeah, I see some people saying that they have their parry shield up, but like they're not getting the actual parry animation. Or for example, you're trying to aim your disengage, but you end up hitting the wrong monster. And in that other cases, you would get heavy stun in cases where you feel like you shouldn't. We are currently investigating to improvements to this. Okay, good, perfect. The other bit of feedback are players who don't want to enter melee range at all, while primary role of the class is incentivizing a ranged melee hybrid playstyle. We do think we can improve on this type of gameplay somewhat while still incentivizing using both types of attacks. Yeah, some people don't want to play the hybrid style. They just want to stay far away and just chuck some spears, no problem. To make this type of gameplay feel better, we are going to be buffing the speed of spear throws generally, but especially lightning spear. Perfect, good. Lightning spear is way too slow currently. The damage will remain the same, meaning that you will get approximately 25% buff to DPS from using just the lightning spear. Some other spear throws will receive slight speed increases too, but they generally will have other mechanics that mean that attack speed on them is less relevant. I still think, though, that it's a bit concerning. I still think the damage should kind of just go up in general, regardless of the attack speed buff. I think they should just make the flat damage of the moves go up a bit. Player, minion damage, and life. One of the areas of major balance adjustment in 2.0 was minion life and damage. Curves for other player. Yeah, currently minions is like the worst way to play the game right now. But there was a buff that was made that we'll go over in just a minute. In the 1.1 in-game, minion characters were getting very out of control values, mostly due to being able to significantly increase gem level on these gems. We previously significantly reduced the growth of minion life and damage as these gems gain levels, and the intention was to mostly hit the top of the end game, but it seems that this had an unintended effect on campaign as well. Yeah, campaign currently, it takes like I think Kriparian made a video on it. It currently takes like 10 to 12 attacks from like an arsonist in order to kill a white mob in like Act 2. Like, it's ridiculous. So even just getting to end game is really difficult. We are taking a chance to making a change to increase the damage and life that minions get during the campaign to be more similar to before, while still keeping the scaling nerfs that were introduced to the higher minion gem levels for the end game. Monster life is too high. Oh yeah, just to address the minion life, they did release a patch, a quick hotfix, I think yesterday or this morning or something. So they buffed all of the minion and life minion life and damage over the course of the gem levels. That's really nice. Life threshold for skeletal artists can target other minions. Yeah, so all this is for minions. It's really nice. They also adjusted a lot of the attack speed and mana cost for spear skills. Well, that was really hard to say. Below, you'll see it right here. They also adjust a couple of stuff like Blackjaw and GNR and Candlemass's cooldowns. It's whatever. But the most important part is this here. So feel free to take a look at that. Monster life is too high, which was already adjusted a couple days ago. One of the first things we looked at when considering clear speed concerns was the monster life curve. We found that monster life through most of the campaign after Act 1 was probably too high. We have made an adjustment to lower monster life by 25% through most of the campaign, and this change has been deployed already, which is correct. They already made that change like 2 days ago. A second issue we found was that life bonuses on rare minions was incredibly high. One of the reasons why this feels particularly bad is because these monsters are still white, but had more life than blue monsters. Yeah, that's true. This calibrates players' expectations incorrectly and makes rare fights harder than they should be. This number has been set back to what it was in 1.0, which is lowers rare minion life by about 60%, which is really, really good. This change has also been deployed, so I believe they mentioned that reduce life bonus of the minions' rare monsters from 400% to 94%. This undoes change that was made in 2.0 that when paired with the life change made yesterday significantly improves grinding. That grindy, yeah, everything felt like a sponge. It took forever to kill everything. It was really upsetting for a lot of people. Large area sizes, this is a big complaint here. A lot of people are just saying that the maps are way too big, especially in mapping. They're just obscenely large, and it just makes the whole mapping experience really slow. So apparently they've addressed that as well, or at least are talking about it. Many players are reporting that areas feel like they are too large. Normally when this is the case, the main reason is due to other concerns such as monster life or player damage being incorrect, or just a lack of entertaining content in the area. However, we are checking to see if there are any outliers that players are spending too long in, to see if any changes to area size need to happen. I think it needs to happen. I think they just need to make the maps smaller. They're too big. In the meantime, we did notice that there are some areas that don't have sufficient checkpoints, so we are doing a pass adding some more checkpoints, more places to teleport around to. Crashes and disconnects. On launch day, we had severe common crashes. Yeah, there's a lot of people crashing out of the town or just playing the game. There was some stuff about an MTX and stuff in the options menu that were just dialed the wrong way. That just made it very difficult to sustain playing the game in town. Currently, the number of client crashes is actually a bit lower than 1.1 due to working around the somewhat common NVIDIA driver crash, but the rate of server-side crashes is approximately 6 times higher, which results in you getting suddenly disconnected. Thankfully, server-side crashes are significantly easier to fix for us, or easier for us to debug, and we believe that we should be able to resolve most of these within the next few days. Of course, we'll be continuing to work on client clashes as well, but the primary crash that we had in 1.1 is now resolved. We believe that we should be able to fix the remainder of these fairly quickly. Quality of life features. We are additionally working on a few extra features that should be released relatively soon. The first is adding a system for bookmarking locations on your Atlas map. Okay, this is really good. There's a lot of people that like to run specific maps because they just have a really nice layout, or maybe the content in those particular maps is just a lot better, or better for what build they're working, or maybe better for farming a particular currency or whatever. That's really nice to have. This system will allow you to save locations with a name on the Atlas so that you can find them later. Another is adding stash tab affinities for more item types, including socket bills and tablets. Yes, please, God, add a rune tab. I hate storing these little sockets or rune sockets at the bottom left of my currency tab. I think it looks ugly. It needs to go in its own tab. And one for tablets too, perfect, because by the end of the game you'll have so many tablets you got nowhere else to put them. And updating the flask affinity to include charms. Nice. That's really cool. And another is adding a way to rebind specters and tamed beasts so that you can experiment with these options more easily. So currently for tamed beasts and specters, if you want to get a new tamed beast, you have to sell or toss away your tamed beast skill gem and buy and then engrave a new one. So it's like you're wasting all these skill gems when you should just have to overwrite the old one with a new one instead of having to toss away the entire skill gem. Same for specters. You kind of just have to recreate it. So it's a little annoying, but now they're going to make it a bit better. So thankfully, they made some decent changes. Hopefully it's a step in the right direction. Of course, they still need to kind of a lot to fix with the game. I still think that skills need to be upped a little bit more in damage, but we'll see. Also, I just found out, totally random thing I just found out, they apparently there was a bug with twisters that caused them to do way more damage than they were supposed to, like exponentially. So they fixed a bug which caused elemental twisters to gain 50% of damage as damage of the corresponding type on twister to gain an extra 50% for each projectile fired. So one of the projectiles gaining 50, 100, 150, and so on. So for every extra projectile that was on the screen, it gained another 50% extra damage. So it was like insanely high damage. So it was fixed so that now my twisters, because currently I'm making a twister build, my twisters are going to be doing like 10 times less damage when there's like 20 of them on screen. So kind of sucks, but I'll see if I can still make it work. Worst case scenario, I either try a different skill. Maybe I tried Lightning Javelin or maybe Spear Field or something, or I just re-roll a new character and we'll wait till they get till they buff the Huntress. But hey, yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys are enjoying your league. I know that's been rough again, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Feel free to check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys on the stream. Later.